Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the S&P 500. If you're new to the channel, my name's Ben. I'm a 19-year-old who's still within his first year investing. In this video I'm going to break down why you should invest in an index fund, as well as give you examples of how to grow your account to over £1 million. Again, if you want a free share with Trading 212 potentially worth up to £100, use my link in the description. You'll get a free share as well as myself. If you haven't already, sub to the channel and hit the notification bell. We're trying to get to 100 subs by the end of this month. Anyways, let's get into the video. Especially as a new investor, I believe index fund investing strategy not only the best, but some of the safest and the easiest method to investing, and one of the best strategies to grow your wealth. You don't need any skills and very little effort is needed, but they can still give you really good returns. If I told you that index funds on average beat over 99% of people who invest in individual stocks, as well as beating over 95% of hedge funds, that's all I'm saying. Now, what exactly is an index fund? You could describe an index fund as to have multiple stocks that all come under the one umbrella of just one stock. However, you don't own the full percentage in that you own a certain percentage of each stock. So, for example, when talking about the S&P 500, it is made up of the top 500 trading US companies. They're practically index funds for nearly every market out there. However, today we're just going to solely focus on the S&P 500. Now, as I mentioned, that the S&P is made up of 500 companies. The fact that it's made up of these 500 companies, a lot of people consider it to be a greater reflection of the actual market when compared to other indexes such as the Dow Jones, which is only made up of 30 different stocks. So the fund is brought down to the 500 companies within 11 sectors. The 11 sectors include technology, healthcare, consumer discretionary, communication services, financials, industrials, consumer staples, utilities, real estate, energy, and materials. I better just add that even though these are 11 sectors, they're not made up of more than 30% of any one sector. A large proportion of the S&P 500 is actually only made up of a couple of stocks. Off the top of my head, these companies are the likes of Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and now Tesla. But you may be asking, well, how is it certain that this stock goes up year on year? Well, I'll try and explain it in the best way possible. This is just in terms of how I understand it. So say, for example, you've got these 500 companies, but they're the best companies in the American market. What the S&P 500 does, it substitutes that company that's not doing too well with another one. If you take Apple, for example, one of the richest companies in the world with a market cap of over 2 trillion, it's very far-fetched, but if Apple was to somehow go under, it would then be replaced by another company. Anyway, the historical average return for the index fund has roughly been 10% a year. This is included with dividends reinvested, whereby the dividend yield of the index fund being roughly 1.57% as of last month this year. However, returns can fluctuate year to year, and 10% being just a historical average, compared to last year where the S&P 500 had a 15% return on investment. Now, I'm going to be going through some examples to see how much you can build up of your wealth over time. This, of course, with the use of compound interest. And if you really don't know what compound interest is, then I highly recommend this video. It's my mate's channel where he's done a whole video just summing up exactly what compound interest is. Now, these examples, I'm going to be going through some different amounts that you can either start with and that you add to it every month to see how much it would build up to in years to come. So I'm going to be using the historical averaged return of 10%, assuming that all dividends are reinvested. Like I briefly mentioned in one of my older videos, this is commonly known as the snowball effect, but that's another topic I'll leave for another day. The snowball effect basically being where you reinvest your dividends, so your reinvested dividends essentially buy you more shares so that your more shares buy you more dividends, essentially. So your money is building up over time and you're slowly creating a snowball where the theory is that when you add to more snow, the snow being dividends, that snow then adds up to next time, so that this snowball is then building up, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's known as the snowball effect, where you just reinvest your dividends, you don't spend the dividends, so that next time round you're getting more for your money. Anyways, if we start off with just having £100, I'm sure majority of you can save up, or might have saved up at least £100 or have £100 to your name. Now, for a lot of you that watch, you may have an income stream, say it might be a part-time job, where you can be able to potentially have £100 a month. If we took our initial £100 starting and invested it straight into the S&P 500, as well as invest £100 a month, after 10 years, you will then have £21,000. Now, if you think you've got a bit more saved up than just £100, and say you've got about £1,000, so we take the £1,000 and say you can set aside £200 a month. In 10 years' time, you'll have over double the 21,000 and have over £43,000. Now, again, if you think you've got £1,000 to your name already, however you feel like you're earning a bit more and you can put aside a bit more every month. So if we started with £1,000 and invested £500 every month, after 10 years you'll have over £100,000. However, if you think you can invest more every month and you're potentially on a higher income, or you're just really good at saving, so again starting with £1,000 and you think you can invest £1,000 a month, after 10 years you'll have roughly £207,000 to your name. Now, a lot of people dream of becoming a millionaire, but what if I could tell you that it's actually not as hard as you think, and all it is essentially just being consistent with your saving and putting it aside every month. Well, now I'm going to show you how exactly you can build up to £1 million just starting from £100. So the situation we had earlier, where you've got £100 and you can invest £100 a month into the S&P 500. Well, with a yearly averaged return of 10%, it would take you 45 years to get to $1 million. This is why I say the sooner you start, the better. If you've got age on your side and you're not even 20 or you're in your 20s, you're already at an advantage at someone starting in their late 40s, 50s, as you've got all those years to build up your account. You might be thinking 45 years is a long time, but if you can literally just spare £100 a month and retire a millionaire, I don't know about you, but sounds alright to me. May I just add, to make sure you get all these profits tax-free when you come to sell, you want to go ahead and make an ISA account. Like I say in one of my previous videos, I go through the difference between the invest and the ISA account, whereas the ISA is basically all tax-free, so all your profits will not be lost within tax. And luckily, the S&P 500 index is on the ISA account. On the ISA account, you are capped at having a deposit limit of £20,000 every tax year. However, the tax-free returns are really beneficial when it comes to your dividends and your profits. Now, again, if you feel like you can put more money aside every month, but starting with the same amount of just £100, and you can spare £500 every month, after 29 years, you will then be a millionaire. So if you think you've got a bit more saved up and you've got £1,000 to your name, and you think you can spare some more money every month and you can invest £1,000 every month, it would then only take you 23 years to become a millionaire just with the S&P 500. For you lot that have already got a decent amount saved up and you're thinking of just putting it away and using it as a retirement fund, or just to generally build your wealth, and you've got £10,000 to your name, and you think you can invest £1,000 every month, it will then only take you 22 years to become a millionaire. So even if you manage to save about £10,000 by the time you're in your 20s or before you hit 30, you are then within your 40s and 50s a millionaire. Again, if you think you've even got more saved up than £10,000 and you've got £20,000 to your name, so with a £20,000 initial investment, an investment of £1,000 every month, you will then be a millionaire after 21 years. But that just shows the power of compound interest. Literally, we took £10,000 and £20,000, and by putting the same amount aside every month, and it was only 1 year difference between the two on growing your account to $1 million. Even those final couple years where you think you can save just a bit more and actually be really beneficial. Anyways, I wanted to make this video just to prove how anyone can invest, and if you literally put your mind to it, anyone can potentially become a millionaire. You just got to have the right mindset and be patient, put aside money every month as much as possible and just build up your account. I know it sounds simple, but it actually is. Like I said, it's low effort, it's safe, they're good returns, there's no skills required and hardly any upfront knowledge to actually get started. The best advice I have for it is to literally get started. And I believe so many people are missing out right now by not just investing their money. But that's just my opinion alone, as I'm not a financial advisor, and as I always say, these videos are just for entertainment purposes only. As I've mentioned before, the GOAT, Warren Buffett, absolutely loves the S&P 500 index, and this is what he's got to say on it.
If I had a choice today for a 10-year purchase of a 10-year bond at whatever it is, or 10 years, or buying the S&P 500 and holding it for 10 years, I'd buy the S&P in a second.
So I think I'll leave the video there. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Again, leave a like if you feel like it was helpful, and like I said, make sure to sub. I'm trying to hit 100 subs by the end of the month, so if you sub to the channel, I'll be greatly appreciated. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments section or DM me at my socials, they'll be in the description below. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. In a bit.